Good morning, fellow traders. Happy Monday, February 25th. I am Jonathan van Clute with Stock Navigators, and I am going to, again, as I always do, remind you to please like, comment, and subscribe to these videos if you find them helpful, and give us feedback if you would like us to do more of any particular thing or do anything differently or answer any of your trading questions or anything we can do to help you out in your trading. So let us begin, as always, with the S&P 500. This is the S&P futures, the ES, or E-mini, as it is often known. And if you are new to the videos, new to the channel, we've had some new subscribers recently, so welcome. And this is how we start things out. We first take a look at the broader market, starting with the S&P 500. And right now, for the last several months, since the bottom in December, the trend is just up, up, up. There's no question we are in a very nice uptrend. You can see that here because the 21 EMA, the 21 exponential moving average, 21 days in this case, since this is a daily chart, is decidedly pointing upwards. There's no question about it. However, there is this area from the past, which is what we call a sell zone, and it is overhead right now. In fact, actually, right now we're in it. As of today, we are right in that sell zone. So that is a heavy area of resistance. And at this point, this move is quite extended. We have not had a significant pullback to form a higher low. We have the origin low here, the high, first higher low, and then there has not been any significant pullback in this entire move up. This is really very insignificant. This is very insignificant. This is totally insignificant. These are just minor wiggles. They are not actual reasonable pullbacks. So that is what I am waiting for. I am looking for price to stall out somewhere in here and pull back and hopefully, anyway, establish a higher low in order to then break this area and march higher. Right now is a very delicate time. This is a touchy area in the S&P 500. 2,800 was a level that everybody was really watching for, and there's a lot of expectation that that level is going to reject price, and we're going to see things head lower. That does not necessarily mean that that's what's going to happen, but there's a lot of expectation of that. So that could, in fact, have the opposite effect. That could mean that we continue to push a bit higher until that expectation falls away and not quite so many people are expecting it to fall. That's usually when it will. But certainly the top of this zone here formed by this little high here. We have this triple top, 1, 2, 3. This area is very significant. So expecting resistance somewhere in here. This is not an area where I can feel confident in doing anything to the long side, which means buying in order to sell later at a higher price. I just feel that I would rather wait for a good pullback here before looking to really initiate any serious longs. Now, if you are on a smaller time frame, if you are day trading or scalping or looking to just kind of get in and out and make quick money, there is opportunity to be had there. Certainly, the trend is also up. Although, of course, it's still this move. We're still looking at that on the smaller time frame. So there's no question that this move is still fairly overextended. It has been going up and up and up and making higher highs and higher lows for quite some time. And that is not sustainable forever. So at some point, we're going to need to turn around and give us that retracement. So we will be looking for the price to begin to take out the higher lows. So this level here would be a very important one. Let me actually zoom out a little bit so we can see some more. There we go. So you can clearly see, the higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and higher high, higher high, higher high, etc. So these are clearly key levels, and that means if price can reverse and take out this low, then it is going to challenge this low, and then the next one is this low, and so forth, just stair stepping right back down again. So, but we need to see this area. We need to see that area broken first. Otherwise, it is still just plain an uptrend. Right now, the higher high was right there. Then there was a little small pullback here, and now it has broken that higher high. So at the moment, the trend is in fact continuing upwards. Now it's entirely possible once the bell rings, the market opens, that we pull back to somewhere in here. That would not be surprising at all. But unless we take out this low, the trend is still up, and this is simply a pullback, which will then likely go higher again, and then either test whatever level it stopped at here or break it and continue to the upside. So this is a tough moment in the market because we're waiting for that pullback. It's due. We know it's going to come at some point, but when? And until that happens, the market can just stay in this uptrend and just keep pushing higher. So it's really tough to pick a direction at this point. It's hard to justify jumping onto this trend, jumping onto the buy side at these levels. That's just a difficult thing for me to accept doing. But at the same time, it's too early to jump to the downside and go short. So a very delicate time if you're trading on anything like these time frames. Now, if you're trading on 1 minute, 5 minute charts, you're looking at a completely different world. Your picture is totally different, and you might just grab a couple of points here and there, and that'll do it for you. But if you're looking at anything that's moderately larger time frame, certainly if you're swing trading at all, or even if you're doing kind of longer day trades, this is a tough area. So my advice would be to wait for the pullback. That's what I'm really looking for. Let's take a look at crude oil. See what's going on there. Crude did manage to hop over this high here, which of course was hopping over that high there, and it has pulled back and is now testing as support. So this area has now become support. This is what happens. Resistance becomes support. Support becomes resistance. We have also come back down right to this rising trend line. So right now, anyway, this could potentially be an opportunity to jump on this move. But much like with the ES, this is just kind of a long move without any really significant pullback. So I really would like to see price pull back, make a higher low somewhere, and then turn around and see about taking out, say, this level, or maybe this level up here. Right now, the trend is up. So if you're going to simply follow the trend, you have no choice. You are trading to the long side, to the upside. On a 60-minute chart, however, you can take a look at what's happened in just the last couple of hours. Significant drop very, very quickly. In fact, it's pretty much the exact opposite of this up move here. So what does that mean exactly? Well, it sounds to me like essentially price popped to this, whoops, I went too far, popped to this level, pretty much went sideways and then collapsed, just couldn't hold it. So this area here was just not sustainable for the buyers. So really cautious area here because on a 60-minute chart, this is our low, and that is the level we're looking at. And you can see that it got really close to it, almost there. So if it takes out that level, then the likelihood is going to be a continued move to the downside. We do have some zones to test on the shorter time frame, but really what we're looking at is the lower lows and lower highs. So if we begin forming lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, then we know the trend has reversed and a retracement is in progress. And at that point, if you're so inclined, if this was in fact the high, you could do something like a Fibonacci retracement and just get an idea of where it might go, things of that nature. But right now, this instant, the trend has not quite broken the uptrend yet. It's very, very close, but that level has to get taken out, and it has not quite happened yet. So at the moment, anyway, buyers are holding us up right above that level. We just need to see if that can continue. Let's take a peek at what gold is doing. And gold also hopped up over a significant area, a significant channel, this whole congestion area here, and it hopped up above it and then also pulled right back down into it. And right now, it's just kind of going sideways. Ranges have gotten kind of small, just kind of in this little area here, going sideways, and not really establishing a clear-cut direction trend right now. Looked like it certainly wanted to continue the higher highs and higher lows, and then it just shot right back down again into this zone. So at the moment, anyway, if you were going to play gold, really the only direction you can think of doing is to the upside. The trend is very strongly up. We've been making very nice higher highs and higher lows. You can see on the smaller time frame, we've got a nice rising trend line moving along here and heading to the upside. And then we pulled back to it again. That was another great buying opportunity, a nice little push up, real quick trade. And now we're looking to kind of pull back to it again. And if we can take out this low and test this, I have to see if that holds. If it does hold, if we get another long wick at that level, something like that, then that's telling you we're probably going to have another continued move to the upside. And then, of course, if we can take out that high there, then there's no question at all. And we're really gunning for this level up here. Ultimately, that's what gold is needing to get over to really start to march higher. Is that 1404-ish level, 1404, 1405, right in there, somewhere right in here. And of course, after that, the big one is right here. So got to see what gold can do. It has been pushing really hard, but it's still got a ways to go before it's able to really establish a serious bull market in gold. So keep an eye on your higher highs and your higher lows. That's what we're looking for right now. You can also draw your trend lines, as I have here on the shorter term time frame. You could do something like maybe about like this. Oops, let me get rid of that. There we go. You could do something along the lines of this and just use that. And if price pulls back to it, look to see if it holds. You know, held here, shot above, held here, shot above. And that's what you're looking for is another retest of that level, hold and move above. And then that's telling you it's gunning for the next higher high. And you know which direction you're going to want to think about trading. All right, let's take a quick look at natural gas. Natural gas has curved around. The trend is starting to head sideways. You can see it here, definitely curving around and starting to flatten out. You can see it on the shorter term time frame. Price has hopped up or has curved around rather and is trying to hop over this zone here. Right now, anyhow, it has stopped and been stuck in it and pulled back, and it is just trying to climb higher. We'll have to see what can happen. My expectation after having broken this downtrend line is that price will probably want to come back, retest the downtrend line, which also would be a convenient retest of kind of, whoops, these lows here. Maybe do a double bottom, something like that. If that holds, then we can look for price to take out the high and begin to do higher highs and higher lows and march to the upside. If this low does not hold, however, then we are certainly looking for some continuation to the downside and quite probably tests of this area here and then ultimately this area here. These lows here are our last line of defense for natural gas. If it gets down there and it breaks that level, then there's no question that the next significant swing point to the downside, which isn't even available on my chart because it was so long ago, would be fair game to be tested. So natural gas is pretty beaten down. If you go back and look at a really long-term chart, look at a weekly, monthly chart going back years, you know, it has been so much higher in the past. So, you know, how much lower can it go? Don't know, but look for higher highs and higher lows to form and hold and continue. Use your trend lines, things of that nature. You know, you could even though this little move here has barely begun, you could do something like that and you know use that. Although I think it's, as I said, perfectly reasonable for price to come down, test this descending trend line, and then possibly move higher. So it's probably a little short-sighted to do a trend line when there's just such a small amount of data to work with. But on the shorter term, you know, you can see that, yeah, sure, it has turned around and it has even taken out the lower high here, but it's got a ways to go. It's got a lot of levels to climb over to really establish a bullish turnaround. So just keep an eye on it. If this level holds somewhere in here, we form a higher low, higher than this, and then break the higher high, the trend is reversed and you want to get on board in the long direction. All right, let's finish up with Bitcoin, the crypto market. And Bitcoin has had another one of these big sudden shocks, and it was climbing steadily, trying to form higher highs and higher lows, and really working on trying to get up to this, you know, 44.15-ish level. And then it just got spanked. And big, huge red candle, 1 hour time frame, giant move down, and then now it's just sideways as it just absorbs this huge move down. The trend clearly has shot to the downside. There's no question on the 60-minute, the trend is pointing down. On the daily, though, the trend right now is not even really quite sideways. It is still slightly up, still attempting to keep an uptrend going. bigger picture right now, we're still kind of in nowhere. Here's the high we need to take out. Here's the low we need to take out. Until it does one of those two things, we're just bouncing around, going sideways. Not really anything going on, anything really happening. So, um, as much as this move is sudden and large compared to some of the recent horizontal activity, the sideways activity, you got to remember that markets are sideways, are horizontal 70% of the time on average. So this is pretty typical. Go sideways, not really anywhere, and then we have these sudden big moves up or down. Bitcoin is just a little bit more sudden, and they happen a little faster than in most markets. Most markets, this would have been a multi-hour move, and in Bitcoin, of course, it just happens in one shot. In fact, in most other markets, this probably would have been a multi-day move. So when Bitcoin moves, it moves fast. Right now, you can see price has come right back down into this wedge with the rising trend line and the descending trend line here that are converging. So does it hold in there? Does it break higher? We'll have to wait and see what happens. But right now, anyway, price is right back in this wedge. And as I said, we're just going sideways until we get over this high here or below this low here. Bitcoin's really just not even going anywhere. But that being said, I mean, there's still you got what lower like 3,200 ish, 3,130 up to 4,400 or so. So there's a good 1,000 points to be played in there. So if you are more interested in day trading, you're not a hodler, buy and hold, then there is certainly opportunity to be had. But the trouble is just these fast moves. When these come, they happen so quickly. If you are not watching, if you're not prepared, then you could give a lot of your trade back in just a matter of moments. So be careful if you trade Bitcoin. Respect the volatility. Be aware of what it's doing, how it moves, and just be prepared to get out of the way in a hurry if you need to. All right, let's take a last peek again at the S&P, which is marching higher. Man, it just does not want to give up. The bulls are determined right now, pushing it as high as they can. The question I have is that so that on the opening bell, the retail public piles into the long side and the institutions and other big money are happily selling to them? Is this just a bull trap? We'll have to wait and see what happens when the opening bell comes, but I am certainly wary of that. All right, well, that's it for me, Jonathan Van Clute with Stock Navigators. Again, asking you to please do subscribe and comment and all that good stuff. Oh, and in fact, I just decided to check the comments real quick one last time before we go. And Ken is in here, and he missed CL. Well, this video is going to be posted as a replay. I don't have time to go back and do it again right now, but you'll be able to see the replay in just a matter of minutes. I'm going to, as soon as I save this, it'll be available in our channel, and you can take a look at what's going on in crude oil. Okay, Ken, I hope that will help you out, and we'll do this again on Wednesday, and then again on Friday, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday mornings, 5:45. That's when I am here and when I do these analyses. So at the moment, I got to go get ready for our premium chat room and talk to the students in there and help them trade the day ahead. So take care, everybody, and until Wednesday, trade well.